Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hey, welcome back to another week of our Dive Deep series in Filling Station. I'm your host, Pastor Matthew, and I'm super excited for today's lesson. So let's not waste any time here. Here is Fred the Fish to tell you what's up.
Hey guys, Fred the Fish here, ready to tell you what's up. Today we're learning that Jesus is the light. Now what's that mean? Does that mean since Jesus is everywhere, we can just shut the lights off and the room will be lit up? No. What it means is that Jesus has come to live inside of us, and we're called to be the light of the world. And so Jesus is that light shining through us. It's our job to make sure that others know who he is and what he's done for us by the way that we live our lives and the way that we worship him. So anytime, and I mean anytime, someone asks you what's up, you tell them, Jesus is the light. Stand up and say it with me. Jesus is the light. All right, Fred the Fish here. I'll see you next time.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hey, welcome back to another week of our Dive Deep series in Filling Station. I'm your host, Pastor Matthew, and I'm super excited for today's lesson. So let's not waste any time here. Here is Fred the Fish to tell you what's up. All right, who can tell me what's up? That's right, Jesus is the light. Today we're talking about how Jesus is the light and how when we let his light shine through us, we are the light of the world. And so we need to follow Jesus and allow him to use us and be a light to others around us so that they might find him and follow him too. It's going to be such an exciting and fun lesson today. We are going to just have an awesome time. But first, let's open up with a quick word of prayer. Father, I thank you for this time that we have together today. God, I ask that you would speak to our hearts. Help us to see how can we be a light to those around us? What are some action steps that we can take today so that others might see you shining through us each and every day of our lives? We ask that in your holy and mighty name. Amen. All right, well, hey, here is a fun little DIY object lesson to go along with our memory verse for this month, and it also goes along with today's lesson. So check out this video.
So you've been working on this memory verse all month long. Let's go ahead and say it one more time together. It says, I have been crucified with Christ, and I no longer live, but Christ lives in me. The life I now live in the body, I live by faith in the Son of God who loved me and gave himself for me. Galatians 2:20. All right, so today our memory verse is talking about how we have been crucified with Christ. So the old us is dead. And now we're learning today that Jesus is the light. And when Jesus comes to live inside of us, we are the light of the world. But here's the problem is sometimes the world tries to change us. See, but we're called to be a light in the world. So let's go ahead and see what happens here when the world tries to, do you see this candle, how it's lit in here? Let's see what happens when the world tries to put us out. Try to be very careful not to hit the flame. Oh, wait a second. Do you see that? Do you see how the flame is still lit? What we can learn is that even when the world tries to affect us and tries to change us, Christ lives within us, and we are the light of the world, and we are going to be influencers to the world as long as we continue to follow after him and we don't allow the world to change us. All right. Well, if you want to find out how I did this object lesson, check it out on our YouTube page, the full thing. I'll show you how it's done, and it'll be awesome. All right. See you guys.
All right, if you thought that object lesson was pretty cool, I can teach you exactly how to do it. On our YouTube page, we have the full tutorial video. I think that you'll like this one. It's pretty cool. So go ahead and check it out on our YouTube page, and you can learn how to do it. Also, we have some other memory verse videos for you so that you can continue to learn this memory verse. This is our last week working on it, so I hope that you have it down by now. So keep on working on it. And hey, let's go into a time of praise and worship together.
Hello, it's me, Choreography Chloe, and I need you to stand up for today's worship warm-ups. Now, we're going to start with our hands in the air, and we're going to wiggle them like we just don't care. Now, we're going to touch our toes all the way down. And now we're going to do 5 jumping jacks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, you're ready to worship Jesus today.
life. You gave me a new start, gave me a new start. You changed my life. It's all because of you, all because of you. You make me smile. You gave me a new heart, gave me a new heart. You make me smile. It's all because of you, all because of you, all because of you. All I wanna do when I think about you, when I think about you, Jesus, all I wanna do when I think about you, I wanna jump, hey, 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 hey. I wanna jump, hey, 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 hey. I wanna jump, hey, 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 hey. I wanna jump when I think about you. Saved my soul. You gave me a new song, gave me a new song. You saved my soul. It's all because of you, all because of you. You make me strong. I know you're with me, I know you're with me. You make me strong. It's all because of you, all because of you, all because of you. All I wanna do when I think about you, when I think about you, Jesus, all I wanna do when I think about you, I wanna jump, hey, 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 hey. I wanna jump, hey, 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 hey. I wanna jump, hey, 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 hey. I wanna jump when I think about you, hey, 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 hey. I wanna jump, hey, 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 hey. I wanna jump, hey, 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 hey. I wanna jump when I think about you. Everyone, come along, grab a friend and join the song. 1, 2, 3, 4. Everybody jump. Everybody jump. Everybody jump. Everybody jump. Hey. All I wanna do when I think about you, when I think about you, Jesus, all I wanna do when I think about you, we're gonna jump, hey, 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 hey. We're gonna jump, hey, 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 hey. We're gonna jump, hey, 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 hey. We're gonna jump when we think about you.
Who can tell me what's up? That's right, Jesus is the light. Today we're talking about how Jesus is the light and how when we live for Him, we can let His light shine through us to the whole world. So let's start off by answering a very simple question. What is light? It's kind of one of those things that's really hard to describe, but one of the easiest ways to describe it is light is the absence of darkness. When you walk into a room and you turn the light on, what leaves? Darkness. So when we see that Jesus is standing on the sermon or giving his Sermon on the Mount, we're going to see what he says about light in Matthew chapter 5, verse 14 through 16. So one day Jesus was teaching on the mountainside, and oftentimes Jesus would use different stories or parables or describe objects and stuff to help portray his point or to give a message to the people. And this is exactly what he did when he was talking about light. Here's what he says in chapter 5, verse 14. He said, "You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill that cannot be hidden, neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. So let's start off with the beginning of this passage. Jesus said, "You are the light of the world, a town built on a hill that cannot be hidden." So Jesus says that you are the light of the world. How exactly does that work? Does that mean that if we all gathered outside in the middle of the night that we'd begin to start glowing and we'd light up the sky? Not exactly. See, Jesus wasn't talking about that we're physically light, but he was saying that when we've accepted him, we should brighten the world around us. People should be able to see his love shining through us, and it'll shine through us like a light that others will be drawn towards us. They're going to see that darkness leaves when we're around because we have Jesus working inside of us, and we have something so great inside of us. People should be able to see him shining through us. So that's the first thing I want you to remember, is that you are the light of the world. And Jesus describes it as a city on a hilltop that cannot be hidden. If you've ever been driving, if you see a city up on a hill, obviously you can see all the city lights. You can see everything that they have to offer. See, that's what Jesus wants us to be. He wants people to see his light shining through us, like a city on a hill, that they can't miss it. They see him shining through us at all times. So the second thing that I want you to see that Jesus is saying here is don't try to hide it. See, Jesus continues to say, people don't put a lamp under a bowl. How much sense would it make for you to take a flashlight, if you're searching for something in the dark in your house, to take a flashlight and put your hand over the top of it? That wouldn't make much sense, right? Because none of the light is shining through. How are you supposed to find what you're looking for? See, we're called to lead others to Jesus. And if we don't tell others about him, if we don't let his light shine through us, if we hide that, if we've accepted Jesus and we're not allowing him to shine through us, it's like putting our hand over a flashlight where others can't see who he is and what he does in our lives. That's not who Jesus wants us to be. We don't want to hide it, but instead we want the whole world to see that Jesus is shining through us. And then the last thing that Jesus is saying here is that we should let our light shine for others. If you were outside at night and you had a friend that was looking for you, and you had a small flashlight or you had a light or something, would you just kind of hold it there and hope that they can see the light? I know that I wouldn't. I'd start waving it around. I'd want them to see the light. I'd draw as much attention to the light as I possibly could, because I'd want my friends to be able to come and find what I've discovered, that I have the light. And so that's the same thing that we should do. Jesus says, as he finishes this passage here, he says, "In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they might see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." What's he saying here? He's saying that when other people see his light shining through you, it's going to draw them to him, and they might accept him too. So how do we allow our light to shine for others? How do we do that? Well, here's a couple things that you can do. You can begin by boldly praying for others. If you have a friend who is sick, or maybe they have an injury, you can stop and say, "Hey, can I pray for that? Because I believe in a God that can heal, and I want to see him heal you in this situation." And guess what? God has the power and the ability to heal them right there in that moment. It might not happen every time exactly how we hope it will, but we can trust in him that he is faithful to heal. We can begin to do other things, like tell people about what we've been reading in our Bibles. we can begin to boldly tell people about how we go to church and invite them to come along with us. Here's a really simple one. Many a times we will stop and we'll say a prayer before our meal. While you're at school, do you stop and say a prayer before you eat lunch? That's a simple opportunity where you can not only give God thanks for the food that he's provided you, but it also allows others to see that you pray to God and that you respect God, and it gives them an opportunity to see that you follow the one true God. And maybe they'll ask you questions about the God that you serve, and you can be a light to them. That is how we let our light shine to others. I had a coworker one time that didn't really like me very much. And one day I asked him, I said, "Is there a reason that you don't seem to really get along with me?" And do you know what he told me? He said, "It's because you're too happy." he said that he couldn't stand the smile that I had on my face every day. He's like, honestly, I don't get it. Why are you so happy? And I took that opportunity to sit there and share with that coworker. I said, you know what? It's because I have Jesus in my life, and everything is good because I have him. And I began to pour into that coworker and tell him about all the things that God had done in my life. And you know what was really difficult about it? He looked at me and he said that I'm so happy that he wants to hurt me. But so that didn't quite go exactly how I expected. However, over time, we built a good relationship, and I was able to tell him so much about what Jesus had done in my life. And I still trust and hope and pray that he will find Jesus someday. And I hope that me being a light to him was a part of that journey. So I want to ask you the question, will you take the challenge? Will you be a light to those around you? If you say, Pastor Matthew, I want to be a light to those around me. I want to let Jesus shine through me, and I'm going to do whatever it takes. Then I want you to stand up and sing this song with us together and begin to pray and say, God, help me be a light to those around me. Let's sing this song of worship together.
Light of the world, you strip down into darkness. Open my eyes, let me see beauty that made this heart adore you. Hope of a life spent with you. So here I am to worship, here I am to bow down, here I am to say that you're my God. You're altogether lovely, altogether worthy, altogether wonderful to me.
Father, I thank you for who you are. God, I ask that as we continue on with our day, God, I ask that you would continue to work in our hearts. Help us to be a light to the world, that when others see what you've done in our lives, they'll be drawn closer to you, and that one day they might glorify the Father in heaven. We thank you for that in Jesus' mighty name. Amen. Wow, what an amazing service today. Boys and girls, I want to challenge you. Be the light of the world to everyone around you. Don't hide who Jesus is. Begin to tell others about who he is and what he's done in your life each and every day, and allow his light to shine through you so that they might know who he is as well. Thanks for tuning in today.